Strand is here, it's powerful, it has some incredible build synergy, and in today's video, I'm going to break down what I believe is the best PvP build for Broodweavers. I call it my murder minion build. Now this video may get demonetized, because that word is in the thumbnail. So go ahead and drop a like on the video right now to help offset the fact that this might get suppressed by YouTube. But I can't wait to break this down for you. I've had so much success with it in PvP, and I'm addicted to it. On days I should be farming PvE activities and getting my pinnacles done, I just found myself circling back to PvP with this build for fun. The Threadlings are my little babies, my malevolent children, and they have one desire, and that's to defend their brood mother at all costs. So let's dive in. We'll start with the basics, the subclass choices. For my grenade slot, I'm using the Threadling grenade. Obviously, this whole build revolves around the Threadlings, so no surprise there. I can toss it out, let it shatter into 3 Threadlings, and then watch them go hunt. It's great when I damage someone and they break for cover. I just toss that grenade out and get that quick cleanup. Or I can lead an engagement with it, let it go in, take the aggro, do some damage, and then I follow it in for an easy kill. If the Threadlings identify a target, they'll go chase it down. But if they don't detect a threat, they'll actually come scurrying back to you for you to pick them up. I find myself talking to them like they're real, like come back to me, my babies, as I collect them. Then they'll be perched and just hang out with you until you start engaging an enemy. Then one at a time, they'll start jumping off your shoulders to go get into the fight. Otherwise, one of the aspects for the Broodweaver is called Mind Spun Invocation, and it allows you to consume that Threadling grenade instead of tossing it. And instead of deploying 3 Threadlings in real time, you'll perch 5 on your shoulder. So more minions, but for later instead of for now. The other aspect is called Weaver's Call. This makes it so that whenever you cast your Rift, you'll create 3 Threadlings and deploy them out in front of you. But if you have the other 5 from your grenade perched already, then you'll send all of them out at once as a little Threadling army. If you've only got 1 or 2 perched when you cast the Rift, it will send any that you've collected along the way. Now this can be especially deadly when you set up on a corner of a door like this, consume the grenade, cast the Rift, and let the army loose. And you go clean up whatever's left behind or collect any little murder babies laying around. There are some key fragments that we're going to use. To enhance this build even further. The 2 most important ones are Thread of Rebirth and Thread of Evolution. Rebirth makes it so that Strand Weapon Final Blows have a chance to create a Threadling at the location of the target that you killed. Evolution is going to directly buff your Threadlings, causing them to travel much farther when chasing targets and do more damage when they attack. So this bumps them up from 40 damage to 45. So throughout this video, you're going to literally see hundreds of 45s popping up on my HUD, around corners, in gunfights, anywhere on the screen really. Not only are my babies out there doing damage to people, but they're also giving away enemy positions to me as I read the numbers through walls. This helps me know where to aim when I challenge. All I need to do is land 2 headshots on anyone that my Threadlings attack. More on that in a second. But first, the other 2 fragment slots, you have a little creative freedom here. I like to run Thread of Continuity for plus 10 strength, as well as extending my Unravel debuff time. That's big because I want to create more tangles and destroy those tangles. I also use Thread of Finality solely because I need the plus 10 recovery to hit tier 10. Otherwise, you can use Thread of Fury and get more melee energy back on tangle damage, which isn't a focus of this build, but it definitely will happen frequently in your gameplay. But for our exotic armor, we're using the new boots, the Swarmers. These make it so that when you throw or detonate a tangle, it's going to send out 2 Threadlings. Now, it is completely possible to full kill a Guardian with just 1 toss if they take full damage from the tangle and then get tagged by the 2 Threadlings. But these boots, you'll see in the gameplay, they help me out a lot. I'm shooting tangles or throwing them, and that's giving me big damage in a big radius, while also leaving behind even more murder minions to either be collected or to go hunting. It's all about the Threadlings after all. Now speaking of tangles, I've heard many people say that you should not be shooting those tangles. I disagree. I think what you do with the tangle depends on where it is. Here on Endless Veil, for example, I create a tangle and it's right next to an opponent. The best thing I can do here is not go chase it down and expose myself. Best thing I can do is shoot it with my Strand weapon. And that's because on the seasonal artifact, I'm running Threaded Blast. That's going to increase 2 things for me. It's going to increase the radius of that explosion, and it's also going to increase the damage that that explosion deals. In this case, the enemy was close enough to it that he took 201 damage. Now, I want you to understand that. That's a massive amount of damage. It is double the damage you can do with a tangle just by throwing it. So remember that when you see a tangle, shoot it with your strand weapon if that's an option. If there are enemies near it, that's always your first pick. But if there are no enemies around, hey, go ahead and pick it up and go hunting. In this case, when I shot it, it full killed a guy, and then the two Threadlings ran across the lane to tag somebody else up so I could come around the corner and get an easy kill on a third person. Really fun play. Lastly, let's cover weapons. I'm running a Strand hand cannon, the round robin. So far, this is my favorite weapon in Lightfall. Now, this build will work with other Strand weapons like the Strand SMG, or I'm assuming the new Trials SMG is going to be pretty killer on this as well. But so far, this is my favorite weapon in Lightfall. I run Keep Away for extra range and accuracy, and of course, Hatchling. Hatchling is a new perk. Whenever I get a headshot kill with the hand cannon, that's going to create a Threadling. This does stack with my Thread of Rebirth, so sometimes one hand cannon kill will result in 2 Threadlings. That's 90 damage now out on the field looking for someone to tag. See, this is what I love about Strand. It's all there to supplement, to enhance your natural gameplay and gunplay. It's just going to do its thing, shaving time off your TTKs and allowing you to win more. It's addicting, honestly. Green energy just flying all around your enemies, distracting them, sometimes taking their aggro and attention. And you force their hand. You know that Threadling army is after them. So you don't let them just stand there and shoot all your babies. No. You challenge with the Threadlings. Send them in first, and then you come in behind them. If they do their job and you do your job, you're going to win that fight. You just have to learn the cadence of it is all. But you can see the loop here. Our grenades are sending out Threadlings. Our rifts are sending out Threadlings. Our guns are sending out Threadlings. Our tangles are sending out Threadlings. Our super is sending out Threadlings. We want to be the puppet master, the brood mother, commanding her little malevolent minions on the battlefield and creating general chaos. One thing we haven't talked about yet is creating those tangles more consistently. So I'm running Allied Unraveling on my artifact for more unraveling bullets to give us more tangles on final blows. And the Arcane Needle melee ability is a really good way to create tangles on command as well. If you know someone is about to challenge a corner, hey, you toss it out in advance. They come around the corner, they get tagged by it, you 2-tap them, and the needle makes sure that they unravel into a tangle for you. Now these needles, they don't drop, they don't lose damage at range, they basically go in a straight line. You don't have to arc them or anything, just point and shoot. They're better than I initially gave them credit for, they just take a little learning. They're really good if someone is pushing you and you jump backwards and you don't trust your gun to land accurate shots in the process, hey, just use the needles instead. For my energy weapon, I'm using a sidearm mostly. I like the Swift Verdict for those close fights, and I'm getting volatile rounds when I pick up Orbs of Light too, so that helps. I'm running Double Bomber on my Bond as well for more grenade energy on command, and my Armor Charge mods are giving me grenades back as well. You just got a full send, really. Well, I hope just watching the gameplay has been exciting. I know it can be tough to track what's happening in real time sometimes, but a lot of these plays were only possible because a Threadling found a target. Some of these plays, that Threadling, it actually didn't do any damage, it just made an enemy back off, giving me time to win my 1v1 before they could turn it into a 2v1. It's simple stuff like that that doesn't pop up in the kill feed, but it's happening, and it's helpful, even if it goes unnoticed. I hope you found this video entertaining and helpful, and I hope that you'll give this build a try sometime too. Thanks as always for being here. If you enjoyed the video, would you consider leaving a like on it, as that's the best free way to help content creators here on YouTube. And feel free to subscribe to my channel for more Destiny 2 Lightfall content. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.
Moments of clarity are weapons, Warlock. Remain. A strong start. Fight on.